Many Nikon Z cameras have mode dial positions labeled U1, U2, and U3. Well, what are these? When do you use them? How do you use them? Well, if you've ever been fumbling around with your camera settings, when time is critical, maybe you miss a shot because you couldn't change the AF area mode fast enough, or you're photographing fast action and you forget to go into the burst mode. So you're just doing a single frame and you miss that fast action. That's what these settings are for. U1 through U3 are user settings that you can customize and save your most commonly used camera settings for different situations so that you can instantly recall them at any time without having to think about it. For example, if you're someone who photographs landscapes, portraits, and sports, you can set your U1 to be your landscape setting, U2 for portraits, and U3 for sports. Now, if you're going out to photograph landscapes, you just flip that dial to the U1 position. If you go to your kid's soccer game after that, you can go to U3 for your sports setting. And then if you want to do some portraits of your kids and their friends after the game, you can flip it to U2 for the portrait setting. And that's the power of these user settings is you can switch from genre to genre or subject to subject without having to think of the settings you need to change going back and forth between each one. The U1 through U3 positions are found in Nikon Z cameras with mode dials. The Z50 only has two. And this means that you're not going to find this feature in the ZF, the ZFC, the Z8, or the Z9. The Z8 and the Z9 have what are called shooting menu banks, A through D. And these are different than the U1 through U3 user settings because in the shooting menu banks, you can only save what are in the photo shooting menu and your exposure mode and exposure variables. The user settings, on the other hand, the U1 through U3 positions, let you save so much more. You can save your exposure mode, exposure variables, photo shooting menu, video recording menu, and the custom settings menus, the A through G groups. And this gives you a lot of flexibility, a lot of potential for having three completely different camera setups depending on what you're doing. For example, you can save different aperture and shutter speeds, metering modes, release modes, focus settings, vibration reduction, shutter type, and flash sync speed, all to these three different settings. And we're going to look at these more as we continue. So let's now look at how to set up these U1, U2, and U3 settings. The first thing that you need to do is identify your needs. You have three user settings that you can save, along with like a base camera default setting that when you're not using any of these U1 through U3 settings, you're just using whatever other settings you have in your camera at that time. But these three settings, you want to make sure that there are settings that are going to be important for you to be able to recall instantly. So maybe if you have one landscape setting that has slightly different settings than another landscape setting, you don't do that. You don't necessarily save both of those as individual settings if you are also a sports and action photographer and a portrait photographer and a street photographer. You're going to have to choose which one of those. It's going to take priority for being able to change your settings quickly. So you're going to want to figure out which three scenarios are the most important to you and write them down. I find it easier to use a spreadsheet or you can use a piece of paper, but this whole process is going to be a lot easier if you write those down. Now, in my Nikon Z Photography Fundamentals course, I do have a spreadsheet that I've created where you can go through and kind of fill in the blanks for all of these settings. And it has a bunch of examples for other scenarios that you can use as a starting point for how you want to set up your user settings. This spreadsheet is actually included in the free previews for that course. So you don't even need to buy the course. You just go to the link, sign up for the free previews, and you'll find this spreadsheet as two downloadable versions at the end of that course, at the end of those free previews. After you've figured out which three scenarios you're going to use these different user settings for, now you need to figure out which camera settings, which menu settings you need to change for each one of these three settings. And this again is why I love to write them down instead of just winging it. If you write them down in 3 columns, it's going to be a lot easier to see which settings you need to change, which menu settings you need to adjust between each one of these 3. You're going to need to figure out your exposure mode, P, S, A, or M, and then the exposure variables for the appropriate exposure mode that you choose. So either your aperture and or your shutter speed, your ISO, and even your exposure compensation and flash exposure compensation. Go through all of your photo shooting menu settings and write down all of the ones that you want to change. Same thing for the video recording menu settings if you're doing video, and then the custom settings, the A through G options. You're going to go through all of those menus and write down the settings that are different from your base defaults. For example, if in the custom settings A group, the AFC priority selection setting, you always have that set to focus. You're not going to set that to release for any reason. It's just always on focus. You probably don't need to write that down. Save yourself the room and just know that you're always going to have that set to focus. And that setting is not going to change whenever you flip that dial between the 3 different positions. After going through all of your menus and writing down the settings, now it's time to program them. Again, writing them down is going to make this process so much easier because all you need to do is just look at your piece of paper, look at your spreadsheet, and then go through each menu setting that you're going to change. So the first step here is to set your mode dial to the appropriate mode and then adjust your exposure variables for that mode. Again, including exposure compensation and flash compensation if you have that programmed for that mode. Second, you're going to go through each menu item and change the ones that you wrote down. Just look at that list and see which ones you're changing between each mode, and that's going to make it really easy to find those in the menu and know what you're doing. Finally, you need to save your user settings once you've done all of that. So go to the Setup menu, Save User Settings, pick the slot that you want to save, press OK to save settings. If you messed anything up and you want to start with a clean slate, you can choose Reset User Settings. Once saved, all you need to do is rotate that dial to the appropriate position to pull up the settings that you saved for that U1 through U3 position. Whatever you have as your base camera settings at that time, the exposure mode, exposure variables, all the other menu settings, those are going to be replaced by what you saved for that user setting. And then if you want to go back to your base camera settings, all you need to do is flip that mode dial out of the U1 through U3 positions. Also note that any changes you make to a user setting are not going to be saved automatically. For example, if you change your aperture while you're in your U2 portrait setting, then you quickly switch to U1 and then back to U2, or you cycle the camera power, the aperture is going to be reset to what was originally saved in U2. If you want to use that other aperture permanently or any other camera setting, you need to go back into the Setup menu after making those adjustments and resave that user setting. This is important to remember if you're on a long shoot and you had to slightly tweak one of your user settings based on the lighting or whatever else. If you cycle the camera power, that setting is going to be reset to whatever was originally saved in that user setting, and it might throw you off. This is another reason why I prefer to have all of my user settings written down somewhere, because if I do have to make that adjustment, I can just temporarily save that adjustment, make whatever adjustments I need to, go back into that Setup menu, save user setting, and now that day, whatever adjustments I had to make, those are now saved to the camera for when I cycle the camera power. And then when I get back home, I can just reference my spreadsheet and reset that user setting back to the original, back to how I had set it up in the first place. And then writing them down also makes it easier to change these settings as you evolve. And you probably are going to be changing these settings from time to time. And so having that written record can really help. And again, if you want to check out some examples, something to get you started, you can look at that spreadsheet that I created, that template That's available in the free previews for the Nikon Z Photography Fundamentals course. I'd really encourage you to take advantage of these user settings. It can make your photography so much easier, so much better, and more importantly, help ensure that you never miss that shot. If you have any other suggestions about setting up user settings, please let us know in the comments. Same if you have any other questions. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe for more great tips like this every week, and we'll see you in the next video.